All right. Well, good morning. Happy Saturday. This is the Women's Corner. I'm Laura Sigmund, and um, for quite some time, you'll probably have just me. We're having some technical difficulties. Miss Virginia Hunter has run into some technology issues because she doesn't have any power. You need power in order to actually process um, all this wonderful technology that we have. So I'm feeling inspired, and I am going to start our intro with something that I think is extremely timely. Um, I hope you also enjoy it. We'll reconvene in just a hot second, but I think I want this video to play because I think it's really timely.
Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time to stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds.
This is not a war zone. This is not a war zone. These are unarmed people. It doesn't make you tough to hurt these people. It doesn't make you tough to hurt these people. It doesn't. I don't care about these people. I put in my work. It doesn't lie. It does not make you tough to hurt these people. There's nothing tough about it. Nothing. If you want to go fight, go to Iraq and Afghanistan. If you want to be here hurting, you act citizens.
Songs and the carrying sign. Most of the same, ready for our side. It's the paranoia strikes deep into your life.
They know why you hurting these people. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Why do you sleep at night? There is no honor in this. There is no honor in this. There is no honor in this, man. There's no honor in this shit. There is no honor in this shit. There is no honor in what you're doing. These people, no honor.
Quite poignant, I thought. Very little left for me to say about it. I thought that video was so priceless and so timely. It even takes on a very different meaning to me all of a sudden. Seeing, hearing the lyrics. I was a kid when that song first came out, and I thought it had a really hip beat. You know, the riff was really cool. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Because there's another version that's got more hip hop flair to it. But I thought for this particular video, for this particular segment, I wanted to talk about what's relevant, what's going on right now. I'm missing Miss Virginia Hunter. I think Miss Dupree will be on with us momentarily, but something is going down. What is this nonsense? What is all this that's happening right now? That video capture was from a period well before, and if you remember, the opening caption was by JFK, and he told you this was next. This was gonna happen. It didn't really matter. You keep oppressing people, there will be an uprising. You oppress, there will be an uprising. And I see that Ms. Dupree is joining our Women's Corner this morning. Hello, Ms. Diane.
Good morning. Hello. Hello.
Good morning. Good morning. There's so many things happening right now. Miss Virginia Hunter normally keeps us on task, and she's going to be absent this morning. But there are a few things that I wanted to just put out there. Yes, something is going down, but there's some great things that are changing too, right, Diane? I saw in Seattle, the very bold young people. They were like, "We took possession of the police department." Did you see that?
Yes, I saw that.
You can come back and you can come and get your gear, but that's all you will do from here.
It is unreal. It is absolutely amazing. I am so at awe with how our people are standing up and not taking anything but we agree and we are with you for an answer. That is so awesome.
I couldn't believe it. I would have never fathomed, and I call myself a warrior princess. I would have never thought, who am I? They put me to rest. They put me to rest, girl.
This is the epitome of taking it by force.
Girl, but the young people, their momentum.
Yes. There was a 16-year-old girl on the news last night. I think she's in Royal Oak, and she was leading the charge. And she had everyone out there, every ethnicity, to just holding signs, and she was like the only African American, and she stood firm, she stood tall, she stood confident, and I absolutely love it. I am like,
they put us to shame, Diane. I'm sitting here in my coveted special spot, broadcasting to people through my Zoom video.
But we shouldn't be ashamed. They have done what has been. We've empowered them. We've instructed them. We've told them that they have a voice. Now we're standing back as proud moms and dads. We are standing there with our arms on our shoulders.
Enough is enough.
Exactly. Saying, just like my baby said, that's what's going to happen. And that is phenomenal. It is awesome. It is necessary. And it's timely. And so it's great. It's great.
I saw on the news, and I was just passing, and I saw on the news a young man, teenager, in his home, somewhere in the South, and it was like a barricade of squad cars around the home as a perimeter, right? And they were calling for the young man to come out of the house, and they didn't say for what or what was going on. It was just, like I said, in passing, I saw this. And he comes out and they throw him on the ground, and all these people, like all these police officers surround him. This 90-year-old grandmother comes out on her walker, and she was like, "It's not going down." Like, no, girl.
Wow.
Right. She's like, "I'm 90 years old. I'm not finna watch you.
And they've seen enough.
You're not finna do George Floyd on my baby."
Exactly. They have
seen
enough of it.
And it's so crazy. Did you see on the news that Jay Farrell, the comedian on Saturday Night Live, which I never get to watch because I never stay up that late, period. I got things to do called sleep.
My day starts at 5 and I will not be up at 12. So
I mean, and God forbid, with all these recorded devices, I can catch it if I, but anyway.
Necessary and important, but yeah.
Right. I'm prioritizing. I'll catch up in my retirement. Absolutely. I'll catch up 40 years of SNL in my retirement. But Jay Farrell was jogging and just going about his thing, earbuds in, jogging, and police, whoop, whoop, put him down on the ground, put their knee on his neck.
No.
Since the George Floyd funeral.
Wow.
And he's telling them, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" He didn't resist arrest. He didn't do anything. He wasn't confrontational. He got down, and Diane, he said, "Can you Google Jay Farrell? It'll tell you who I am." I don't know what. And they went on to explain while he's sitting there handcuffed, "Oh, you fit the description of a black man."
Are you kidding me?
He said, take these effing cuffs off. He was so enraged. But you know, that could have easily escalated. And here's the thing. It wasn't one police officer, Diane. It was multiple police officers, one with their knee on them. But they all were standing there. The message is not succinct. It's not clear. It's not transparent. The tactic. When I played earlier the opening video, there's something happening here. And they were showing the riot gear, but it was a military man. He was in his army fatigue. And he was saying, there's no honor. This is not what we do to our American citizens. These are not the tactics. This is not the strategy. And that video was 8 years old.
Yeah.
How long do we keep saying and keep crying and keep doing the same stuff, girl?
It is the information that's being shared, that's being linked to so many of the Black Lives Matter, and people are, making comments on. Some of it is relevant to like right now. All of it's relevant, but some of it is current and some of it is old footage, and some of it is yet being developed, because even with the Jay Farrells, I didn't know who he was. So as you were speaking, I
looked at us, right? Because we're in a different lane. We're in a different lane, right? But okay. See?
So I Googled him. So as looking at that, he said, look me up and see who I am. Suppose my son doesn't have a look me up and see.
We can't, that's right. There is no profile that you can go look up for my kid.
You understand? Which would prohibit you from continuing
to put your knee on his neck.
Position. My son doesn't have a profile. My son is my son. So he is going to fit the profile of 99% of the African-American males that will walk the streets. But I would think that in this day and era, that you would now ask before putting your knee, and make sure that you have, before you apprehend someone in that manner, after the Breonna Taylor, after these situations where it's been, oops, you do it, and then it's an apology. I am over the apologies. I'm over them. I've listened to all of these huge companies come out, say what they want to say. Black Lives Matter we won't support it, we won't tolerate it. And then
exactly
the backlash, and then we receive the great apology. And because of who we
the new awakening.
Yeah. Okay. Because of who we are a forgiving people, sometimes to a fault.
To a fault.
Because I can forgive to a degree, but I still know what you did. I will not tolerate. We have to stop accepting and tolerating and going back into the same.
That's right. That's right. Intolerance, total intolerance for stupidity. Exactly. Diane, some of it is going to be a learning mechanism. I recognize that they're not even awoke. They are not conscious of I want to just call it entitlements.
Yeah.
Because there's no place that you and I will walk into and just assume that the behaviors that they get away with are just innately something that we are commissioned and have the capacity to do. Exactly. It is total white privilege.
It totally is.
It's totally white privilege. And they are not, I don't even know how to fault them for something that they feel is in their DNA, they feel entitled to. It was only last night at the last minute, that Trump decided that he would not hold his rally in Oklahoma.
He just decided he's not going to. He just decided that Juneteenth was a bad idea.
Girl, last night.
I missed that because I've been watching CNN for the last 8 days. I missed that.
Just last night he decided, okay, with all this pressure, apparently Juneteenth must mean something to these Negroes. So
it's because
we'll just move it a week. Just move it a week.
Because I said to myself, what makes you think that they want to see you on Juneteenth or June 30th any day.
You know, he said, he was being interviewed, and he said, and this is the part that it makes me feel like, okay, this is not acting, because he's not that good. This is just unconsciousness. He's not awake. He doesn't know.
Yeah, he's totally.
They're not aware.
Yeah,
They think we're crying out, and they think we're crying out just for what purpose? I'm not sure.
For sure. It's totally for sure. It's not humanity. It's not equality. It's not, why do you guys need all that? It's so, they're totally oblivious to what.
The greatest massacre of independent Black possible wealth.
Yes.
And,
yes.
and you choose to rally that
On
time.
That day?
And he said in celebration of.
Yes, he said that. He said that with a straight face. I can't understand him. I see that. Oh.
There's something happening here.
Okay.
And it ain't very clear.
He wants to celebrate. He said it's a celebration. It's a total celebration. I mean, we're going to celebrate that day. Who wants to celebrate with you? Are you kidding?
There are many that want to, but it's in conflict on that day.
In Tulsa.
Okay.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, it wouldn't have mattered really. Even it was even more just in your face stupid to pick Tulsa.
It was.
To do it. It seemed intentional. It seemed very intentional.
It was a backhand slap in the face.
Yeah, it just seemed overly intentional. But just to pick that particular day anywhere where across America people are celebrating Juneteenth, right? I mean, it's a small sect of people because they're typically African American. And I recognize that it's not Cinco de Mayo. I recognize that it is not the Green Beer Day. Okay, it is not St. Patty's Day. But Juneteenth is a celebration that we still yet adhere to. This is ours.
And it's very sad to me that a lot of our days that we are grudgingly given, there's celebratory days around Memorial. We're memorialized. We don't have just a Cinco de Mayo to play around and have a play day. We have, we just don't have it. We have so much history that's so powerful. We have to celebrate the people who impacted and stood and made a difference in our lives. And that is what is essential to us. And it is so sad that these are the only times, they're celebrating St. Patrick's. Who is St. Patrick and why are we drinking beer? It's just why is it green?
First off, I'm not Catholic. What?
It's unheard of to me that every day that they have, it's a reason for them to find a way to get drunk, to leave work early, to call off work the next day, all these other things. And for us, we are memorializing the things that mean so much to us, and they try to turn their nose up and
diminish it.
Yes. And it means nothing, just like they've done us all these years.
Yes.
It continues to be snubbed. It continues to be a nothing.
Yes.
And that's why even for him, when the 45, as he stated, we're going to celebrate. I'm like, that's like our cookout and no one invited you to, and you show up.
That's all right. That's all right.
That's just not okay for you to just show up and you were never invited. You were not on our guest list, and you show up and you're going to celebrate with us. And no, that's not possible.
But again, these babies though,
also,
probably never even heard of Juneteenth.
They haven't. But here's the thing: that
let them find out.
They're digging into the history this year. I bet you they'll know after that, because I made my son, do some research on it and understand what it means and what it means to him and what's going on. So we've been dealing with it, talking about it, because I don't want to inundate him and overwhelm him with
That's right.
the scariness of it, because
That's right.
Me,
right.
I want to educate him. I want to
be prideful and aware.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Look, Diane, I came across a letter. I want to read this letter because I think it embodies both you and I, Virginia, as well. There's a woman, Dr. Sharita Witherspoon. Never heard of her before I got the letter and I started researching. I fell in love with her. I'm I'm about to be her BFF, for real. So her letter starts off, "Hey there, reader. Woo. I hope you are well and that in the midst of this economy opening back up, that you are still taking the necessary precautions to keep yourself healthy. I also pray that in the midst of this centuries-old pandemic of racism, that you are doing what you need to keep your mind and spirit right, keeping yourself physically safe, and paying attention to those around you who are revealing who they really are. I've been wanting to send a message since my last email, but have really been struggling with finding the right words to say. The words that are appropriate to be spoken publicly without any concern about my messaging being shared, the words that align with my brand, the words that won't anger some and rile others up. Those words, yeah, I've been struggling to find those words. And to be honest, I still haven't found them. I've had very honest conversations with my family and closest friends where I've had the freedom to say what I really think and believe without fear of the consequences. I've posted and reposted quite a few things on my personal Facebook page that clearly communicates where I stand. However, when it came to writing to you, I wasn't sure what to say. It's important to me to be transparent and vulnerable while also being responsible for the power that I know my words can hold. And to be frank, I'm not quite sure how diverse my list is, and I don't want to offend anyone. Again, Diane, that's her doing what you just said. Black people, always being forgiving and then always trying to make sure that we don't do anything to offend other people.
Absolutely.
So she says, here we are today. For some reason, I feel less inclined to tiptoe around these issues. Let's face it, as I've moved through the world as a Black woman in mostly white spaces, no one has cared whether they offended me. In fact, I know that people have intentionally tried to offend me. So I thought I'd share a bit more about who I am and what I believe. Perhaps you'll like, love, or be more perhaps unable to unsubscribe, but my truth won't be less valid if you do. I am a proud Black woman, she says. I love myself. I love Black people. I also believe in the values of all people, no matter their race, no matter their religious beliefs, their socioeconomic status, their gender identity, or sexual preference. I believe you are valuable even if you disagree with my beliefs, your lifestyle, and your behavior. I believe that you are valuable even if you hate me simply because of the color of my skin. I don't have any white friends, she says, but I do know white people. There are some in my broader circle that I care about and I'm even cool with, mostly former employees or colleagues, but none that I would call a friend by how I define my friends, because I don't use the word loosely. I thought she was speaking directly to me. She actually channeled me when she said that. After giving this fact some thought, I can say that it's because I've never felt the freedom to be myself in their world. I have always had to wear a mask. I had to do code switching, and I had to try to avoid being stereotyped, otherwise trying to fit in and acclimate to the culture. She goes on to say quite a bit. But Diane, I heard her letter, and when she's saying, I am no longer tiptoeing, I no longer want to apologize for being who I am. And the young people have emboldened me to feel the same way. And I know Virginia said we can't address the subject because she wants us to hold off until next week. I got it. I heard what she said. So I'm not going to do it. Out of love for Virginia. But our next week's conversation will be about censorship.
Absolutely.
We will address the sacrifice of the platform our sacrifice and how you have to curtail and bite your tongue, and I'm gonna leave it there. But I think defunding the police, when I first heard it, I thought was absurd. Diane, what were you thinking? I heard defund the police. Are you crazy? I don't want these criminals in my house.
I think I thought the same, because I guess for me, I wanted to know, is that the correct wording? Are we really saying defund the police? Are we basically saying reconstruct? Are we, reorging? What, is that what they mean? In that, because I feel as though to just make such a bold statement,
right?
Defund the police.
I was like, that's going nowhere. But I understand that they are moving extreme left with the intent to actually disallow and to dismantle the police system. But I recognize that there is a middle, right?
But I saw the change the word though. I saw the fun change.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
And that's what made more sense to me is
Yeah,
I think
right.
word
Right.
revamp
It can be
that.
curtailed because it's happening in New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Camden, New Jersey is a great benchmark, but I
Mhm.
think every space and place needs to probably come up with their own system. But I don't think the young people are going to do too much waiting. They're going to tell you how they want to see it done.
Because guess what? They basically said we ain't going home.
We not going. We have no job to go to. You know?
This is our new home.
The weather is great. We're gonna sit right here.
They like, we're not gonna stay. I hate it here. Y'all
COVID, take a back seat. COVID, take a back seat.
So now but that's been the whole mindset. It's been a little secret plan. They're trying to get the protesters out of there. So they say, oh, we have a spike of COVID here. We have a spike of those people like
backseat.
We don't care. You can spike all day. We not moving. We not going home. We staying right here.
Right.
So if we have, because if we're gonna die for COVID, we're gonna be in our house dying alone. But if we're gonna die from this protest and what the racism, we're gonna die right here on the street, and y'all gonna see it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be for a cause. Nobody is willing to go in their homes and die for nothing under the COVID banner.
Right.
We are willing to stand together and die together for a purpose.
So be it.
That's it. And that's all. And that is because at the end of the day, you know, you live for purpose. You live for, what am I living for? Where, you know, you want to have some type of motivational inspiration.
It's got to be more than this.
That drives you. And this right here has given a lot of us who have remained silent a voice and now a platform.
Yeah.
So they're not moving until the movement moves. They're not moving.
It is what it is. And you know, I think it's high time that we pay attention to the fact that sometimes we have to transition the platform, Diane. I always thought that it was a generational passover. Like my mother's generation passed it over to me, and then my generation was to pass the gauntlet over to the next.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to have dual seating. The young people are now leading the cause. And because they have, they're more courageous. It is what it is.
They are because they're a little bit more farther removed from the mindset of slavery than we are. You know what I'm saying? Whereas we
protecting their assets and their communication and their networks and how people perceive them, you know, they don't have all these other overwhelming considerations.
Absolutely, because we maybe, you know, our parents identified something in slavery, because my mom is 86, you know, for sure her mom, you know, my grandmother did, you know, so it's like it's a little bit more touchable and understandably.
Oh yeah.
There's still a hint of fear there.
Yes, for sure. Because you lived it. I mean, she lived it.
She lived it, which then passed on that generational fear of who these people are, and be careful and don't trust them and watch them.
That's right. That's right.
You know, so that
don't antagonize them. Don't rile them up. Don't
even make eye contact with them.
Yeah.
And our children are like, but you said I have a voice.
Girl, my son scares the life out of me.
You said I can have whatever I want to have. You said that God said that he comes that we might have life and that more abundantly. They throwing those scriptures back at us.
Okay.
And all we got to say, okay, baby, I'm gonna cover you in prayer right here.
See, because we got to go to the throne, got to get on my knees and go to the throne.
Because they are fearless. And I love it. They're fearless.
But it reminds me back in the book of Numbers where Joshua and Caleb.
You better come up with your word, girl.
Girl, they say there is land over there with an abundance of fruit.
Yes.
Why are we over here when we can be over there?
Yes.
Let's go get it.
Yep.
these young people have said, no. It's time to change the paradigm. And, you know, I'm sure in history, there's probably been some type of very significant shift that I've just missed because I'm just not that astute.
Mm-hmm.
The times call for this. This change is paramount because the times call for this particular change at this particular time.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, my pastor said in Wednesday night's service, or no, was it Sunday service? Either way, he said we need to be able to measure whether or not this is a moment or a movement.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him a little bit of pushback because I'm going to say they took possession of the Seattle Police Department.
I say movement.
I say that when a general of the Joint Chiefs can come back in front of the camera and say to you all, I'm embarrassed that I even made that political stand, not recognizing what was happening in front of that church by occupying U.S. property and opposing U.S. citizens. Military is never to be used against its own people.
Absolutely.
When Colin Powell can come out and say that this man is out of his mind.
Yes, publicly.
He said the most conservative, muted. I say not
it and not blink.
Not moment, but movement. Movement.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
When I can see publicly that CrossFit, who came out and made their comments, and I don't even remember all of the backlash, but I can tell you that they quickly turned and quickly changed the point of view, much like what you said. This brand new awakening, just like Drew Brees, right? Just like some of these other people. I don't know that you can call this a moment. I think the momentum has made it a movement.
Absolutely.
Diane, I think we're seeing movement. And I think history will write down who held out and who championed the change. I recognize that there are a lot of people who have a lot of pride in some of our statues and relics around the nation. And I recognize that the storytelling has glorified a lot of the relics and made them prominent in history and memory. But if we were to look at the atrocities that were championed by these statues, it is necessary for this level of change. It doesn't matter that you rebrand or rename military bases. It doesn't really, it doesn't hurt or change your history. I believe that we are greater as a whole when you tell the whole story.
Sure, very true.
Tell the whole story. Because you know what? Genghis Khan felt he was necessary in his period of time. Some crazy people felt that Hitler was necessary because the Germans felt oppressed and betrayed and belittled, and you will have an uprising. Don't be confused about the times that we're in right now.
Right.
Don't be confused about its purpose and its intent.
Exactly.
To keep the peace, to change to change a name or to remove a statue, to make an oppressed people who are part of the citizenship feel like they are also valued because Black lives do matter. It can't be that complicated. That sacrifice cannot rob you of your history, your legacy. It doesn't rob you.
And how are we offensive when we say Black Lives Matter and you not be offensive when you say
Lee needs to be there? Robert E. Lee needs. What are you talking about?
And to what I can wear. You can't wear this Black Lives Matter
at Starbucks of all places. Are you crazy?
Are you kidding me? I can't wear this? You will tell me that I can't wear it. Amazing. But they have no issue and no problem with saying we support LGBTQ and
we felt another wrong yet again, you know?
Yes.
When you talk
We
about
supported
equality and civil rights, what do you mean?
They gave us such a hard time about that. Like, everyone needs to support LGBTQ. You know, you need to make sure it's not okay for your children to say this. You know, it stopped the world to make sure that we understood that this was an acceptance and this was something that they approved. And that's fine. I'm for whatever your preference is not my business anyway. So do what you do. But you will not yell and scream at me and say I'm wrong for just doing a double take.
Let me mute me again. Muzzle me up some more.
Yes, but then you want me to accept that without blinking, without doing a double take, without saying what's happening. But then you treat us as if we are non-human, and this is the color of our skin. Come on. So
no choice in the matter.
No choice in the matter.
Forgive me for loving me.
Okay. Forgive me. And we have to dumb down our Blackness. We have to dumb down who we are for you to feel comfortable. We have to not wear afro or dreadlocks in our hair for you to be comfortable in my presence. It seems like you need to make some changes, because this is who I am.
Diane, where are the churches at on this?
I know.
I'm not talking about the Potter's House. I ain't talking about Changing World Ministries. I'm talking about the Hagees.
Okay.
I'm talking about the Copelands.
Come on. Okay.
I'm talking about, I need to call out Graham? I'm okay. Myers too.
You understand? I'm talking about.
Where y'all at?
Okay, who got
silence? I don't hear you. I don't hear you.
Your black dollars, because we've given tons of millions.
If we've never given anything, if you true are messengers of Christ, what would Jesus do? And would he allow this atrocity? Where are you?
Somebody, because what I did when all of this first happened is I went to a lot of the people. I went to their social media sites to see. Let me see what you've cried out and spoken from your voice. Well, let me see what you have to say as it relates to this issue.
The best I've seen was healing, calling for healing. How about some change? How about some recognition? How about some making some phone calls?
Absolutely.
Oh, you know?
Yeah. And I don't think that, because you do it for the cause that makes that ruffles your feathers, the thing
like
that
animal cruelty.
Come on now. Come on. Let somebody come after a bird.
Wait, you need to see me. Did you say animal cruelty? Are you serious?
Yes.
And they riot. They get really upset about Christians, Chinese Christians, or people who live in Muslim territories, Islamic spaces, who profess to be Christians. You know, it's an uprising when Christians abroad are, being lynched or preyed upon or being killed in rapid numbers. They want to get a fund. They want to talk about stuff. They want to get legislation moving. They want to lobby. They want to do a whole lot of things. They want ambassadors to have conversations right here on the soil of which we are sanctioned, the United States of America. The largest, biggest voice in Christendom has not said a mumbling word.
Okay. So for the Kenneth Copeland.
What'd he say?
Kenneth Copeland, and say some stuff. So a message to our African American family from Kenneth Copeland, to our Black brothers and sisters. We are with you. We love you so much, with the heart emoji. Brother Copeland wants to share a message with you today. So link on to his website and he'll tell you the message.
I want to see them on TBN. I want to see them on the 700 Club. I want to see them on CNN. I want to hear. I want them to sit in council meetings. I want to see some change.
He said, okay, so the link when it says log onto the message to share, we're going to share this message. It has Creflo Dollar. That's his
Yeah,
IG.
mentee mentor relationship. I remember that.
And then he has Dr. Bill Winston. He has
Great.
Harry Jackson. And then he has hashtag George Floyd, hashtag George Floyd protest, hashtag racism in America, hashtag racism must end.
So we'll give him a pass.
Okay.
He gets a thumbs.
Racism
Okay.
in the church, peacemaker, unity. These are all hashtags. Unity, diversity, peaceful protest, pray together, united in prayer, united in love, united in Jesus. Jesus is Lord. Great awakening.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good stuff.
We give you a pass. Now, what Joyce got to say?
Well, he didn't have to have so many hashtags. I think he could have.
You're so crazy. You're so crazy.
I'm
We may have to take a ride over to Fenton, Missouri, and catch up with Joyce. What did Joyce have to say?
Let me see what Joyce said.
What Joyce got to say?
Because I mean, my thing is your voice should be heard. So let me.
And that platform has. I mean, if you really are evangelizing and you really are a mouthpiece of Christ, I need you to use the platform.
3.3 million followers. Let's see what she had to say. Still looking. Still looking.
Jesus.
She busy. She booked and busy. She said, okay, wait. Hand of Hope. She posted a little black kid.
Wow.
Is there anything better than a child grinning from ear to ear? Together we're feeding the education. Okay, you know, that ain't the same, sis. No, sis, that ain't it.
Joyce, you got some work. Joyce, you got some work to do.
Yes, you do, ma'am.
Before you slide your fantastic self back over here to the Michigan, we're going to need you to have a conversation about Black lives actually do matter, even in Missouri.
Yeah, because she all in Cambodia. She got all type of stuff going on. The Cambodia 2019. Now, why is you posting something from Cambodia 2019 2 days ago? You ain't got nothing that you don't see nothing else in this world.
Well, look.
I'm just saying. I just need certain people to stand up. Stand on up now. And let your voice be counted in this.
Okay.
It means something to us. So yeah, she posted several things 2 days ago. It may be probably about 6 or 7 things 2 days ago. And the rest of them are just, she's still going. She posts like 3 or 4 messages a day, and they're her sermons. And yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Joyce.
Yeah.
You need to get with it.
No,
Is the Marilyn Hickey ministry still around?
I don't know. I don't hear much about Marilyn Hickey, but I remember her.
I grew up on Hickey now. I grew up on Marilyn Hickey.
Yeah, I remember her. That is too funny. But yeah, she hasn't picked a side, I'll say.
No, she got work to do.
Yep, she hasn't picked a side. She like posting these pictures right here though. This is us.
Right.
Why you gotta keep posting this? It ain't no protests in your area. It ain't nothing that you can post outside your door.
Look, it's the Marilyn and Sarah ministries. Marilyn Hickey is 88 years old. She probably ain't got much more.
I know, right? But I mean, my mama 86 and she got something to say. All right. You hear what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
at this point, it's time for you to turn in that privilege. I'm looking at her site. I didn't see anything on Hickey. They got some work to do. Who is the other prominent person I used to look at and have someone?
What's his name? He was the funny one.
Not Billy Graham.
Not Billy Graham. It was I'm so angry. He would be with Copeland. He would always be on his show, the white hair guy.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, him. There was a ton of them. I mean,
there's so many of them. I grew up with.
We didn't see color.
No,
our parents didn't. You would think that they would be pro-black, like nobody.
We weren't. No, it was about the word.
When it came to Jesus, when it came to to eating, when it came to taking care of us, educating, color never had a preference in our household.
That's right.
I'm gonna tell you this.
We would say, is that man anointed? That man is anointed. Look, he all in that word. Get that word.
They did not teach us prejudice.
We weren't taught that
in our home. And it's so funny because even until this day, I was telling you guys last week about a story with my son at school, and how he had indicated that this boy in school, I can't remember his name, but he was not African-American kid. So he always had a little joke, and he's like, well, wait a minute, Andre, wait a minute, wait, stay right here, stay in the class. And all the boys walked out, and he clicked the light out, and he said, I can't see Andre. He disappeared. And all the kids in the hallway, began to laugh. And so Drake comes out of the class, and he's like, that isn't funny. You know. So then he said another day they were walking down the hall, and the kid said to him, he put his arm around his shoulder, and he's like, when the last time you had cereal? And Dre was like, I don't know. I mean, I really don't eat
innocent baby.
Like he said, I really don't eat cereal like that because my mom makes me breakfast every morning before school. So I don't really know. He's like, well, the kid said, well, last time I checked, he said, according to my recollection, the last time I checked, you haven't had cereal for a long time because your dad went out for milk and never returned. So Dre looks at him, and then all the other kids are laughing. He really doesn't still get it, but he just didn't like him saying that his dad didn't return. And so he shoved the boy against the locker, and then he pushed the boy, and then the boy slapped him. And so then Dre punched him, put him in a headlock, knocked him down on the floor, and he's socking him and punching him. And so when I talked to Dre about it, he didn't say anything the first day this happened. So when the
school didn't call you immediately?
The school called us the next day because they wanted to get the kids in the school and discuss it with them. So as a matter of fact, I was headed to your office, and we were having a meeting downtown, and they called me and said that he had gotten in some trouble. It was like 12:30 or something like that. And so I was like, really? So I was assuming that it happened that particular day.
Of course, you would think, instant.
And the day before, or the day before that. So I'm just totally clueless. And so they're like, we have him in here, and we're going to expel him. They kicked him out. He had never been in a fight, let alone being expelled from school. So he was totally upset. And so it's making me upset right now. So he was like, Mom, so he's on the phone, and he's crying and everything. And I was like, just calm down. I said, we'll get it sorted out and worked out. No worries. And so but when he came home, I talked to him. I said, what happened, this and that. So he kind of explained to me. So I had to take him to school 2 days later. And so I said, well, I'm talking to the principal. And she's like, well, the guy said something. I said, well, Drea said that this boy had said some things to him a few times, and he asked him to stop, and nothing was being done. He even indicated that he told a teacher or an aide or something on the playground, and no one did anything. So he felt like, I need to take this into my own hands and do what I need to do. And so she's like, and I told her, I said, and I even said to him, well, Andre, why did you have to push him or fight him? Why couldn't you just say something back to him? And he was like what? And I stood there like, because I'm thinking to myself, like, he said something racist to you, you should have said something to him. And he's like what? He was like, he doesn't have
siblings. He had to learn what happened, iron sharpened iron. He had to learn how to fight because he doesn't have any siblings.
He hasn't had the fighting words.
That's right.
Like that, because first off, he's not being taught.
That's right. To operate like that
in his home. That's the first thing. And I told the principal, I said to him, why didn't you say something back to him, and blah blah blah. And so she looked at me, and she almost was like in agreement, like, yeah. And then I said, but he didn't understand what I was saying. I said, and I meant, why didn't you say something racial back to him?
Exactly. So, whatever.
Then she turned a little flesh tone, rose color.
Yeah.
And so, And I told her, I said, he still didn't understand. I said, because he's not being taught that. And
Right.
I'm going to teach that.
Right. We're
I
not
said,
making angry Black kids.
Exactly. I said, but I need you to make sure that this young man understands everybody won't be as nice as Andre. They won't just knock him down and punch him a couple times. It'll continue. It may be worse.
Right.
I said, help him understand that it's not okay.
Yeah, right.
You know, racial remarks to people because you just don't know when a person is fed up. I said that Andre was fed up.
Right.
I said, so I am not going to punish him for that. You guys want to expel him? That's fine. I hope you expelled the other young guy that said something to him. It was unfair. You know, and she's like, you know, you're right. You're right. You're right. So
do we have a caller on the line?
it looks like it. It looks like it.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Is this Miss Virginia?
No, this is Brandy.
Hey, well, hello, Miss Brandy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Fabulous, just fabulous. You want to get in on our discussion?
I just got in and I said, "Oh my goodness, what they talking about this morning?" Because I was able to get in the last one last week, and then I got like something else going on this morning. I said, "Well, let me see what they talking about," because last week was so good.
Awesome.
What I caught.
All right, all right.
Yep.
Well, you know, Brandy, I know this is Miss Brandy Lane. This is our Will You Party event planner extraordinaire.
Okay, awesome.
Won multiple awards in the event planning space, been on television and everything. She has donned the radio broadcast this here morning with us. I thank you, Miss Brandy.
Thank you for having me.
But you know what? It's timely because Brandy actually is one of those, she's not directly in our generation, Diane. She's a little bit under our generation. She's an activist.
Okay.
She's one of those, you know, we don't call city council to task, you know, and get some action done. No, she's very action oriented, extremely, she's an activist. But Brandy, this morning we've been recapping some current events, things that we saw in the news, like Jay Farrell needing to educate the LA Police Department again around profiling and the fact that all Black lives matter. And they weren't going to lift their knee until they found out exactly who he was.
Amazing.
We're excited about Mr. Trump, President Trump,
Decided
considering to not do the Juneteenth rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma, of all places.
Oh, okay. So he changed his mind.
Yeah, he had a
late last night.
aha moment. I should not do that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, seriously. And in the midst of all that we're seeing, I never once, Brandy, in my lifetime would have ever fashioned my mouth to say defund the police.
Yes.
But I recognize how timely it is because it's not so much defunding, it's restructuring, reallocating.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm feeling real good about that. I'm feeling really good about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't even understand when they were saying defunding and because again, we still trying to deal coming back from, you know, we still on the COVID with our businesses, and then this is coming through. And I didn't even understand. I saw one of the senators, like you said, I'm still plugged into the community, and I saw, you know, just touches of it. But the key word is restructure.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I said exactly. It is.
It's restructure. I just think they're trying to put these little fancy terms and whoever, you know, it's restructure.
Defund got a lot of attention. I think the word defund got a lot of attention, and it shook everyone. So maybe they threw it out there to shake us and let us know we coming, and we make it change. Whatever you call it.
You better join the bandwagon or get rolled over.
Get out the way. Shake the table.
Absolutely.
I really think that history is going to tell a very different story than what is our reality today. I'm so concerned that if we don't capture these moments right now, like I mentioned earlier, my pastor said, are these simple little moments, or is this really a movement? If we don't capture what's happening right now so that we can create the dialogue in the future, because we keep having the same old discussions, right?
Sure, for sure.
Like when I opened up, something is happening here, and it ain't very clear.
Yeah.
Stop, children. What's that sound? But no, it is very clear. We are awake. We are woke. We are woke.
We are woke.
Absolutely. And we require, at some point in time, some accountability.
Sure.
I want to say this before we close, because we only got 5 minutes. The new edits to the PPP, Diane, this is so timely.
Okay.
It's no longer an 8-week loan forgiveness conversion plan. It's now a full 5 years term loan with the intent that you can have it for up to, I think, 24 weeks before you can convert it between a loan and a forgivable commodity. So banks, community banks, traditional banks, even some CDFIs and some Black credit unions and other credit unions, of course, have access to the PPP. And you no longer have to, and it doesn't have to be 75% on payroll anymore. It is now a 60% threshold. Wow. You all should be applying for the PPP because it's no longer a total loan that has to be paid for in 24 months. They've extended it for 5 full years at 1% interest. That's almost free money.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. We're going to get on top of that today.
PPP. Wow. Everybody who has a business should apply for it.
Yeah, we're going to get on top of that today. That's awesome.
And they've got a surplus of cash that still hasn't doled out because people weren't sure what and how to do, what to do with it. And the terms were so rigid.
And they were. And it was so much of a trick. Like,
yeah, right.
What do I have to do? Right. Money, because it's always a hook, line, and sinker. So it's like, what am I doing exactly? Do I take it or not? You know, so it's very
with a second wave of COVID saying that it seems almost inevitable. We're gonna need some short-term cash. And I tell everybody, today is the day. Don't wait until the 30th when they want to exhaust the fund.
Right.
Apply now. Get into the pipeline now, because you don't know what August and September is going to really look like. And if there is a resurgence of this COVID thing, they're claiming 200,000 people will have died by September.
Wow.
That's what I heard.
The new number is 200,000 Americans would have died from COVID. And they're believing that the increase, more than 16,000 new cases will be in effect within the next 3 weeks. Get that COVID money now, because you need to pivot and reposition.
Sure.
Get it now. We don't know what the future looks like. How you spend it, you got 5 years to work it out.
And so I'm going to be contacting you, Miss Laura.
Let's get it in. Let's get it in.
That is so. I am definitely at your table.
All right.
Okay. Yes.
I'm sitting over here shaking. So I'm sitting over here shaking because literally, when I get off my next call, I'm finishing up a document to send to Congress, to the legislature about the event industry, and I did my own research for businesses and COVID because our industry was overlooked.
That's right. Totally decimated. Totally.
And not only that, if you do not properly regulate the event industry or how these events are going to look or what's going on behind the scenes, it could be catastrophic. Those numbers could be even larger because these people are looking to have 150, 200 people events in August, so.
Yeah.
And if not larger with the different cultural weddings.
Truly. And with all the rallies and the political campaigning and all that good jazz, there's going to be a whole lot of nonsense.
I'm shaking.
Yeah, right. Look, it's time for us to come to a close. I want to say thank you again for tuning in to the Women's Corner. My name is Laura Sigmund. If I can be of assistance, my number is 313-265-3062, 313-265-3062. You can reach out to us on the website at bpcs.biz. B like boy, P like Paul, C like Charlie, S like Sam.biz. Let us know how we can help you. Ms. Diane, you got something to say?
Yes, my name is Diane Dupree King. You guys can reach me at Prestige Center My contact number is 855-LISTEN-2. That's 855-LISTEN, the number 2.
Excellent. We got a caller, Miss Brandy from the Will You Party event planning. She's the extraordinarily fantastic event planner. Give them your creds, Brandy.
Will You Party event planning. That's WILL, the letter U party. Again, that's WILL, the letter U party. WillYouParty.com, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm located in the Fashion District. I'm on Livernois and 8 Mile next to Baker's Lounge. I share the building with Durden's Catering. So we do all full service events, but definitely right now had to pivot the business a little bit. So let me get you over those quotes for getting ready for those vacations and getaways for next year, or even destination weddings planned out for the next 2 years or 3 years. So let me help you with that. Yep.
Excellent. Well, it's time for us to come to a close, and I'm going to close it out with just keep your mind open. Pay attention to what's going on. I think for most of us, we feel emotionally about the times, but let us be strategic mentally about the times. Pay attention and be forever vigilant. God bless you in Jesus' name. Until next week.
Until next week.
All right.
Sweet.
See you all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.